Before we get into today's episode, we have to talk about one of our absolute favorites, Luigi's Pizza Fresca, home of the blue pizza. And listen, it's officially Phillies season, which means the vibes are high, the games are on, and you need a go-to spot for food that hits every single time. Luigi's is that spot. Whether you're grabbing takeout before the game, feeding a whole group for a watch party, or honestly just craving really good Italian food, they do not miss. Their pizza, their pasta, everything is just unreal. And if you've got something coming up, bridal shower, a welcome party, game day hang, literally anything, their catering is so good, it makes your life 10 times easier. This one's also super personal for me because I grew up in their Marlton location, so getting to partner with them now is such a full circle moment. And we've got something for you. If you stop in, mention Pinned Up and Burnt Out, and you'll get 15% off your order. So, yeah, Phillies game on, Luigi's in hand. You really can't do better than that. Trust me. If you know me, you know I love opening day. I love this moment. But here's the thing. Opening day isn't just about baseball. It's about showing up again. It's about energy. It's about stepping into a new season, whether you feel ready or not. Today, I'm joined by Michelle Barone, a podcast host, content creator, and entrepreneur known for her honest, no filter conversations around personal growth, self image, and building a life that actually feels aligned. Michelle has created a space where real life takes center stage, the wins, the struggles, and everything in between. And I'm so excited for you guys to hear this conversation. Ciao, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. We're finally doing this. We've been talking about this for a minute now.
I am so excited to be here, Cassidy. Thank you so much for having me. And it's going to be an iconic day, baby. Let's go.
I know today is opening day for the Phillies. I know you're probably not a Phillies
Yeah.
fan, but like in Philly, this is a very big deal.
Well, I'm not a Phillies fan. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but
It's
it's opening day
okay.
and I'm here with you. I have to represent New York.
Yeah, no, listen, I get it. So why don't we start by you talking a little bit about where you're from, kind of a little bit about your background and how you ended up here.
Sure. So I'm from Poughkeepsie, New York, born and raised, know a lot of people, and I've been here my entire life. It's been quite a journey, I have to say. I grew up here. I know so many people here. I have 13,000 people in my cell phone, and I'm proud to be a native of New York for sure. I grew up here, went to a small school called Spack and Kill, and then I went to Marist College. So really born and bred here. And then I've been here for the last 42 years.
Wow,
So it's been quite a journey for sure.
that's awesome. So did you always know that you were going to go into podcasting, or did that kind of come later with some experiences, would you say?
Sure. So I always knew I would love the entertainment business. I was a singer-songwriter in my early 20s and I opened for people like Neo and Fabulous and the Dev who did like a G6. I opened for a lot of big people, big management and the owner there, Gary. He's since passed from COVID and it's been quite a ride, I'll tell you. I built up a large audience when I was doing music and then decided to go into marketing because that's what my degree was in. And then worked at a local bank here in Poughkeepsie, New York called Rhinebeck Bank and took that bank from 645 million to 1.2 billion in assets with the work of myself and the sales team. And then, started to say if I can do it there through a show called Wake with Rhinebeck Bank, I could do it for myself, and that's where Red was born. So it's been a really cool journey. And prior to iHeart, I was with Clear Channel, and they turned into iHeart, and I've been with them. I was with them for about 18 years before we started the show. Yeah,
Wow, that's a long time.
long time, girl.
Long
I'm telling you,
time.
long time.
Yeah. So talk about that a little bit as far as like starting out, because obviously you said that you started in the music industry and kind of getting your name out there. How did you sort of transition into podcasting and launching your own show now?
Sure. Oh, that's a great question. So I was with iHeart for a long time as a weekend jock, and then I ended up working with them on, they had a new podcast venture. It was coming out 3 or 4 years ago. There weren't as many podcasts then.
Yeah.
And they said, you know, unfortunately, right before COVID, they let go of all their part-timers across the board in the whole country. It was just a company-wide initiative. Then COVID hit and half the world shut down. So it was kind of interesting timing. But once that happened, I was working on the pod for about a year and we launched about a year later. So they said to me, listen, we still love you. We don't want you really leaving us, but this is another way we can work together. And it can get you out of the market a bit, right? Into broader horizons. And that's what I was looking to do for years. I wanted to get on red carpets and meet people and, you know, really go that direction. And once I was able to do the pod, it really opened up a lot of doors for me. And it's been quite a journey for sure.
That's amazing. You know so many people. It's crazy. I remember when we met at New York Fashion Week and we were talking, you're like, "Oh yeah, I talk to her all the time," or "Oh yeah, like we go way back." And I'm like, how is she connected to these many people?" That's so crazy.
You know what? The pod really opened the doors for that. And I've had a lot of people in my life that have helped me, right? I really do believe in the law of attraction. And I hear from people, you know, what are your goals? And I tell them, look, I want to be like Oprah the internet, or I want to grow this pod into something that is truly iconic and remembered for generations. And when you tell people that, they help you reach your goal without even thinking about it. So, you know, it's really what you communicate to others, what's in your head, what you strongly believe within you, and then the law of attraction takes over. You go to an event and you meet somebody and you connect with them, and that person may happen to be someone big or not. I have friends who are so incredible. I have friends who are like in the tech space that can make real things happen that you could never dream of. I have friends who are celebrities. I have friends who have been my friends for 30 years who I count on for everything or nothing. And I think that everybody has a purpose in your life for some reason. And I always like to be of value to someone else because not because that's what I'm looking for, just because I feel like, you know, what are we all here for? To make the most of it, in my opinion. And making the most of it to me is being able to help someone else with their goals.
Love that. Yeah, it's so true. So I started my podcast. We launched last year in August. And one thing that I was really big on was trying to bring on other people who had the same mindset as me. It didn't matter their age, where they were from, how many years in maybe my industry or just in the entertainment industry in general that they
Yeah.
have. But one thing that really stuck out to me was when I met you, your energy just completely took over the room. It was like you walked in and it was like, okay, Michelle is here, game face is
Oh,
on. And it's so funny because I felt like when we were talking, it was like I was talking to myself. And it was really inspiring to me to hear a little bit about your story and kind of where you came from and how you got to where you are. Was there anything along the way where you kind of were like, maybe this just isn't for me? Maybe this isn't the route that I should be taking?
that's a great question. And I will say the same about you. You have an electricity about you. I just wanted to bottle you up and take you home with me.
Oh,
Um, and when you asked me to be on the show, I was like, of course, like anything you ever need. Um, you know, I feel like it's interesting that you say that because I just want to talk about the energy side of things for a second, and then I'll answer the question. But I think energy is so important. And I think that, you know, it's not something I put on, it's who I am. And I never realized that it was a thing. I just was always that person. I was a cheerleader in high school and I always help my friends out and I'm always happy. And I didn't realize that was like actually a blessing until the internet came out and all I heard was, you know, positivity this and it's a choice to be positive. And I'm like, I don't choose to be positive. I am. I'm happy. I love life, you know? And I want
yeah.
everyone around me to love life. I'm just a loud Italian, really. Um, but I do realize that that is a gift now that I've know so many people and I've been around so much and I'm so blessed to be able to share that gift with people and that's all I want is to radiate for others and myself and my family and I feel that same energy from you. You have, you know, you are someone that makes and creates beautiful looks on people and you do it with all your heart and you can see it and you're just glad and happy to do it. And it's such a beautiful thing and it is a blessing. So thank you for all you do, Cassidy, because you're awesome. So that, and then the other thing I would say is, you know, to answer your original question, which now I'm forgetting what it is. I'm getting old here, Cassidy. You gotta.
It's okay. Was there a time where you kind of thought maybe this career wasn't the set path for you?
Yep. So I never felt like it wasn't for me. I always feel like, what's next? How can I get there quicker? What is something I could do to make it better? I always like to level up. I look at everything and it's never perfect enough for me. I always want to get better and better and bigger and bigger. That's kind of my mindset. I think that, you know, for me, I've never really had imposter syndrome, although sometimes it gets really hard and I want to quit. And I'm like, "Ugh, maybe I should just stop this and just, be in my pool in my backyard and like live life and just not go through all this craziness. Because why am I doing this? Right. But then I think back to my purpose. And when you have a purpose for others and you really try your hardest to fulfill that purpose, to deliver positivity and love and joy and just make people feel good. And I know that's what I'm here for. It keeps me going.
As far as burnout, because that's something that we really talk about a lot on this show, how do you typically get yourself out of that burnout rut if you start to feel yourself going there? Or are there any warning signs? Like, have you noticed over the years that there's moments where you're like, okay, maybe I need to take a step back and this is how I'm going to take care of me today?
Burnout is tough because I don't even want to say what I really do because I don't want anyone to be like, what the heck is wrong with this woman? But truth is, I'm exhausted 90% of my time. In your early years, it doesn't show, right? You can not sleep a night, do hair for 20 hours like you do,
Or
or be on radio all night, or go to 10 events in a row, and you look great the next day, and you get up and you go. Once you hit like 40, everything is exhausting. Once you become a mom, once you go through transitionary years in your life, it does get harder. And my recommendation is to try to, balance in things that you can schedule in. If you're a high performer, you just go. That's how high performers are. You just go, you deal with it later. It's unhealthy to do that. So for me, I know that I live and die by my schedule. And so I work in a massage, I work in self care, I work in resting at 9 o'clock twice a week. Not every parent can go to bed at 9. I have to go to sleep at 9 o'clock in order to function for the week. So, that I do twice a week because I can't do it every night because I have other obligations. So it's minor shifts that really change things. I know the Aura Ring is controversial, that it may omit different things, omit different frequencies and whatnot. I don't know exactly what it's called. I'm not completely into health that way. But I do think that this has helped me with knowing my sleep debt, knowing how much time I need, how many calories my body should intake and when. All of the things that the Aura Ring shows, I really love because I can track better and I spend 20 minutes a day doing that. So for me, it's scheduling the time in to have the self-care. I don't have days off. I'm a mom of three. I take care of my mom who was just recently diagnosed with lung cancer, unfortunately. And then I have a full-time job. I'm a wife and I'm a bad woman, right? I get out there and I do everything. So I go to events and every single second of my life is taken with something. And I'm so blessed to have these opportunities. But I think the thing that keeps me going is planning the self-care.
yeah, it's such a big part. I feel like that's one thing. I'm kind of in it right now, you know? I'm a
Yep.
mom of two, and both of my kids are under 5, so we are running everywhere. We're
Yep.
running like chickens with our heads cut off at this point. But one thing too that I think is so important is finding that in between balance of everything. And it seems like you seem to be doing a really good job of that. So that's why I wanted to ask you that because as a mom who's kind of in the beginning phases of all of this, is there anything that you would give advice wise just to kind of keep us from getting to the point of burnout or getting to the point of, like you said, where we just go and go and go and go and go?
I think it's a planning of self-care. I think it's talking with your kids as they get older and telling them, listen, mom's at my limit. Everyone has a limit, right? I don't push you past your limit, don't push me. Being real with them, telling them when you need a break and walking away instead of flipping out and using all your energy for something negative. Not going beyond your boundary, having discipline in your life for yourself, like knowing your meals are prepped, life is organized, and you are doing the best you can. Having a partner that's flexible, that's so important. My husband is an angel for dealing with all the crap he deals with me. I am all over the place every day and he rolls with it, you know. I think that, having children that can roll with things comes with how you parent them. And I think that for me helps. All my kids know when it's go time, we got to go. But when it's time to rest, we rest. So I
Yeah.
think that's important.
From the social media side of things, do you ever feel like there's pressure to maintain a certain version of yourself online? Because in all reality, we just talked about it, but life can be very chaotic sometimes. So do you ever feel like you need to appear a certain way or act a certain way when you're hitting socials and kind of maintaining that, I guess, professional side of things of yourself online? Or are you more like real, would you say, and kind of post it all?
I think it's kind of both, right? I think I'm real and authentic, but I also think that you can't like completely be yourself online and like, be in your bed looking like a hot mess and just chilling. You know what I mean? Like you can't be that person online. I think you need to have a sense of professionalism and what you want to portray to the world because it's important to, for me to inspire people. Now, some people, they are in their bed making content and that's who they are and what they do. For me specifically, I want to have a specific image to others. I want to inspire others. I want positivity. I want to bring people news and interviews and viral moments that are going to make them laugh, be entertained, have fun, something like that, or like mean something to them. And that's what, I do it for. So yes, I definitely maintain not a facade, but my social side to the internet. There's times I get raw, my house burned down 3 years ago. And during that time, it was hard. And I did get dark because that's real and it's life. But I'd say 90% of the time, I'm the friendly podcaster that wants everybody to win. And it's truly who I am in my heart. So it's both.
You've really built part of your brand around energy and presence. When did you realize that that was your thing?
Oh,
I
I
need
love
to
the
know.
question. So when I was in fifth grade, I was like a little clammed up little girl. I was a little overweight. And, then in sixth grade, I shot up. I was 5'7" and I became this bombshell, but I was in my head still like this little tiny girl. And in ninth grade, I met a coach, a cheerleading coach. And she was like, do you understand like who you are in your heart? And she was like a 5'2" little thing. And I'm this 5'9" giant, right? And, she's looking up at me like this, and I'll just never forget. And I was looking down at her like that. And, she said, you are just amazing. Your heart, your energy, your soul, like you are a pure person who really wants the best for others. And your energy just, if like you said, just fills a room. And I was like, really? So that day I started to think different, right? And I was like, maybe I do have something special. Maybe it's not just like, you know, I'm just not average. I don't know. And then I took it to the cheer team, right? And I went a little extra because I felt like I had something better. Then I started singing the national anthem everywhere. And then I was the lead in the play. And then, I got cast for different things. And then I had an amazing management team and I was opening for all these celebrities. And I knew quickly that once I started to deal with a lot of people, not a lot of people are this way. Once I started to see, then the internet came out, and then you see the Jay Shetty's, and you're like, okay, he's different, right? And there's only a few people that I would say have this type of light and use it for positive things. Some people do, and it's negative. And those are, and that's okay too. Whatever, teach their own. But for me, I know I'm the Pied Piper, that people believe in what I do and say. And I knew that probably around beginning of high school and then carried it with me throughout my life. And I believe in my heart anything can happen, and it always has. I came from nothing and I have an amazing life now. And my husband and I can do anything and everything we want we're so blessed and so grateful, but we work really hard. And I think that, you know, anything is possible. You just have to want it and be willing to do what it takes to get it.
Yeah, that's so true.
You're so great. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
I'm
you.
so
Thank
glad you're here, seriously. If someone is listening to this and feels like they're not confident yet, they don't feel like that girl, what would you say to them?
Do it. Go out there, look at yourself in the mirror, do your affirmations, get in front and say, I am beautiful, I am strong, I am smart, I am doing everything I want to do. Name the things you want. Create a top 10 goal list. What
I
I
love
do every
that.
time I feel that I am not in the place mentally where I want to be, I go back to my list on my iPhone and I look at all of the things I want to accomplish and it keeps me in line. My list has 100 things on it. Everyone thinks I'm crazy, especially people who love vision boards. Like it's too much, it's never going to happen. Well, let me tell you something. Every single thing on my list happens every time I put it on. And I cannot believe every time I do a strike through it because I want to remember all the greatness that happens. You guide your life with your mind. So confidence is the single most important thing. Make a goal list and come up with all the things you want, and then life will start and you will start to accomplish them through just happening because you put it out there and because your brain rewires and sets you on that journey. Make sure what you have on there really is what you want. Sometimes it may be what you think you want, but then you're in it and you're like, it's not really what I want. I've been down that road a few times too. So try to really put yourself in those shoes and understand what the life is like of what you're looking to achieve and make sure that's what you actually want. I will say too, confidence comes when you know you can do something. So when something's unsure, like if you've never podcasted before, or you've never posted and you don't know what your friends are going to think, or if you've never public spoke, or if you've never taken a really hard math test, you think you're going to fail, of course you're not confident. You don't know it. Anybody that doesn't know something is not confident. What builds confidence is doing it, trying it, messing up, and then trying it again until it's perfect. And then once you become an expert, then you build your confidence. So you have to really go after what you want, even though it feels icky and not great. Look in the mirror, know your worth, and do it. Confidence comes from doing. The thing I will say about confidence is like I see my kids when they doubt themselves. My son struggles with homework, or my son can't get this move on the soccer field, or my daughter like can't get her one-handed cartwheel. I just literally look at her and I'm like, you can do it. I
Mhm.
know you can do it. You know why I know? But mom, I've never done, but you can. I know you can. If I know it, you know it. You
Yeah.
have to surround yourself with somebody that has that attitude, that believes in you wholeheartedly, that can push you to the limit you don't think you can go to. I have my mom who was an immigrant from Italy. She's very strong, but not in personality and like the way I do things. But she's strong in the fact that she's confident that I'm the greatest, period. And I'm not pompous or I don't think I'm better than anybody, but I know in my heart I'm great and that I can accomplish anything. I believe that truly. And it may be delusional, but I know I can do it. But it's because my mom instilled that in me. So if you're not getting that from your parents, or they're down on themselves, or they're always the type of people that have been down on their luck, or this happened to me, or woe is me, find other people or anyone around you that is motivating, that you can absorb from, because that energy will help you become confident. You need somebody in your life that's going to build you up and believe in you. I have a podcast called Michelle Barone Red with myself and Ashley McPherson, my co-host. She's amazing, 23-year-old niece, and she is my sister's daughter. We have had such an iconic time interviewing content creators, influencers, celebrities, people of extreme value on the internet, and we're so lucky to be connected to all these folks. We share viral moments, real moments, moments about mental health. We partner with Mental Health America of Dutchess County, and they have really helped shape our show because everyone has a mental health challenge. Mental health does not discriminate by money, race, or anything else. And that's something we can all relate to. And, the show's brought so many different things to us and to the world. And if you want a perspective, you want a fresh perspective, and you want to have fun, tune into Red. You can find it at michellebaronered.com.
All right, you guys, before we wrap up, this episode was brought to you by Luigi's Pizza Fresca, our full season sponsor, and yes, still the home of the blue pizza. And at this point, you already know the deal. It's one of those spots you can always count on. Whether you're grabbing something quick after a long day, feeding a group, or just in the mood for really good Italian food that actually hits. And if you have anything coming up, a party, a shower, a game day, whatever it is, their catering is such an easy win. No stress, no overthinking, just really solid food that everyone's going to be obsessed with. They're open 7 days a week, super convenient, and their Marlton location is always worth the stop. Don't forget to mention Pinned Up and Burnt Out for 15% off your next order.